Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Kristen Jarnagin, President and CEO of Discover Long Island, and we're here today with a very prestigious panel of experts to talk about team building. And I first want to thank NYCB Live and Nassau Coliseum, the team there, for putting this panel together and for giving us something positive to talk about in the era and time that we're living in right now. And hopefully some of the tips that we provide today will help you in your business and moving forward. So again, I'm just going to introduce the panels. Today we have Stephanie Reda, who is Director of Brand Development for Hal's, and you can see them. And then Nick Galanis, who is founder of his organization, RGL Group, and they own several franchises. Most notably today, we'll talk about your Orangetheory.
Yes, thank
Say
you.
hello, yeah. Great. And Pat Tighe, who is a new local celebrity these days, what he's doing at Pipeline Coffee. And we're excited to talk to all of you. And I'm going to kick it to all of you. Tell us a little bit about your business. And I'll start. Discover Long Island, for those of you that don't know, is the official tourism promotion agency for the region of Long Island, both counties. Tourism on Long Island is a $6.1 billion industry. And we're all going to get to know that very quickly after what we're going through right now, because tourism generates about $740 million of the local, state, and tax revenues that our local governments rely on for all the services that we as residents enjoy. And it employs about 100,000 people on Long Island. So we are really thrilled. And I am very lucky to have this conversation that I have an incredible team at Discover Long Island of people that are really talented and passionate and feel very privileged to have Long Island as our product. So with that, Nick, how about you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure. I'm a franchise developer here on Long Island and in New York City as well. But for today's discussion, I'll be talking about Orangetheory Fitness. I'm the area developer on Long Island. We own and operate 12 studios, and then we're also in charge of the other franchisees as well. And so for today's discussion, I'll be discussing Orangetheory Fitness. It's a fitness studio. It's not a big box gym. It's more of a fitness studio. It's heart rate monitored. It's very, very hands-on typically. So this transition for us has been a little bit tough, but we've made some alterations through technology, and we're doing okay.
Thank you. Stephanie, how about you?
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Stephanie. I'm the Director of Brand Development for Hal's New York. We have most notably the 20-ounce seltzer, and recently, about a year ago, we launched our kettle chip line, and about a month or so ago, we launched our pretzels. So that was something that we kind of really had to change up the way we were going to go about even launching that product. It was a big decision whether or not we even wanted to proceed with launching that right now with everything going on, but really we decided to do so, and we kind of, just as Nick said, kind of had to pivot the approach to that. So we've been focusing a lot on our online retailers, doing some exclusive promotions there, and really still trying to be there for all of our customers, all of our fans. We are considered an essential business, so we're doing everything we can for our local delis, for our hospitals, and our fans and followers, of course.
I think, next to unprecedented, that the word pivot will probably be the most used word of this year. And Pat, you're a great example of pivoting as well in this time. So I'll let you tell us a little bit about your business.
So Pipeline Coffee Company is just a local coffee shop. We roast our own beans. We make our own food. It's just a small, very intricate, kind of service that we provide. With what's going on, we've had to pivot pretty tremendously. We started a campaign called Powered by Pipeline, which is it kind of fell in our laps. It was initially we started a Venmo account for people who weren't comfortable with exchanging cash or swiping a credit card, etc. So we opened up a Venmo account to make that easier for them. And with that, we had one customer who donated generously and just told us to use it and use it towards the next handful of healthcare workers that walk through the door. So with that, we posted it online, and it's kind of history from there. It really took off, and So we've been providing boxes of coffee, simple, egg sandwiches, fruit cups, and the likes of to. It's roughly like 23 or 24 coffee shops, hospitals throughout Long Island and even into the city.
And Pat, where are you located?
We have 2 locations. One's in Rockford Center, one's in Wantagh.
Okay, great. So, we're all talking about, of course, what we're dealing with today and how it's impacting our businesses. But for the purpose of this talk, we really wanted to talk about teams and how our teams play a role in our success during this challenging time. So I kind of wanted to ask everybody, what is the makeup of your team, and what are the most important attributes you look for when you're adding people to your team? So Pat, let's stick with you.
Sure. So we have currently working, I'm down to about 8 employees. At one time between both stores, we had about 18. So I've had to cut a lot of hours, and that's just because we can't keep up with, the business isn't keeping up with the labor. With that said, I've actually, on the flip side, had to hire a couple of other people because with the store hours diminishing, the hours of getting to the hospitals and all the donations out have increased tremendously. So I hired a new cook. And the process with that really is I've been looking for people with experience. It's difficult. The service industry is rather difficult to find people with experience, and especially at they're not making, especially cooks, they're not making tips. It's all hourly. So it's been difficult. I've been fortunate. We actually, yesterday was our 2-year anniversary. So I've been fortunate. And I know of other businesses that haven't been as fortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a difficult time, and I think everybody is doing the best they can do. And Nick, I know that, speaking of your makeup of your team, and with being a boutique gym like yours, like you said, very hands-on. What does your team look like? Give us some decisions that you've been having to make lately, and what you look for, because the people that you have in that setting that are supposed to be motivational, it makes a big difference who the people that you have on that team.
So for us, it's actually been quite a remarkable process, because we're non-essential, so we can't open our doors. So it's a little bit different. So what's ended up happening is Orangetheory Fitness started these at-home workouts, and it's free for everyone, not just for members, but for everyone. So we took that element, and then we have a team of people, team of coaches that are actually setting up live workouts with our members, with whoever wants to join on, and they're still staying connected to the members and people to get a good workout in, because especially now that everyone's at home, they don't have ways of working out. So Orangetheory Fitness has kept everyone kind of connected in that way. And then as far as my team goes, I still have a lot of team members that are currently employed, and I've been fortunate enough to have the first few people that I've ever hired still be part of my team from 7 years ago. So they kind of take the lead on my team. So the way I kind of do it is I grow from within. So if you started with me, there's going to be a level of me trying to take care of you as you move up in the company. So right now I have a set of team members that are still active in all the studios, still answering calls, still getting back to members and all that stuff. And then we have a team of coaches and just a community, even our employees, who are jumping on these live workouts, jumping on the OTF workouts, creating Facebook groups, doing all kinds of things to stay connected. And then as far as I'm concerned, I stay connected with my team. We have a weekly call. We have some emails going back and forth. I make sure that all my employees understand everything that we're doing for them. We're in the process of getting the PPP loans. It's been quite a unique thing because SBA and the banks don't really kind of agree. So it's kind of been difficult to get them. But once we do get them, we plan on bringing everyone right back and employing everyone right back into our studios and still continuing to work from home. So it is our every intention within the next few weeks to bring everyone back. So that's helpful also because we're trying our best to take care of every member of our OTF family. That's what we call it. And if you ever tried to work out, I know that I don't know if you have or if you haven't, but you could jump on the at-home workout and you would get quite an experience.
I love that idea. I think so many companies right now are really giving back and using this time to get benefits, to have other people that would never otherwise be engaged or have an asset to your company have a connection. And I think the companies that are doing that right now are the ones that are going to be successful later, as opposed to those that kind of go into their own membership.
Yes, I agree with that. Actually, Orangetheory Fitness Corporate is very, very hands-on and active, and we have weekly calls. We're on different groups, so we're all talking about how we're going to open, because even when we do finally open, how is that going to look? Mm-hmm. It can't be full capacity. I'm sure even in restaurants, you guys can't go full capacity also. So it's going to be a unique transition. And so we're prepared to be successful. That's what we always preach.
Well, I want to try one of those classes, so I'm going to jump on. Well, I'll share all of our information later. And Stephanie, tell us a little bit about, House is an incredible Long Island corporation, very important, and you're continuing to grow at this time. Tell us a little bit about the makeup of your team and how you're, what the company's doing right now for the members.
Yeah, so our direct house team itself is composed of about, I'd say 8 to 10 employees. So like in terms of that, that's very small, anywhere from upper management to operations, and then the team members who even in the field daily. But it really expands beyond that because we work very, very hand in hand with our distributor partner, who's been absolutely phenomenal, because in times like this, when not all of us are able to go out in the field, we have to be very selective with who we can have in the field, visiting stores and customers every single day. So they've really been just an expansion upon us when we can't get to every single store daily. And it's really a seamless teamwork constantly, but especially in this time. And I think the communication that we've built in the past year has really just shown how strong it is now in times when we need to be sure everyone's staying connected and communicating. And it really starts, I think, from the top. And when it's shown that communication is always such an important part of our business, and then it's when we get to obstacles like this where it really does shine through. And I think it's been so important for our high up management to show such strong positivity. And I read something the other day, it's being positive doesn't mean you have to be happy every single day, but it just you need to be strong enough to know that eventually it will get better, and you need to just continue to weather through the storm for now.
I love that. I put that on my Instagram the other day. Being positive in a negative situation isn't naive, it's called leadership, and you just have to, that's part of being a leader. So it's great. Positivity is important, and it's important, I think, in every single one of our businesses, right? Yeah. So I'm going to stay with you for a minute, though, just to talk a little bit about, can you name a couple of specific things that the leadership is doing to keep the team engaged? Are you meeting more often? Are you doing, more video calls? What specifically are you doing? Because it's difficult right now to make sure that we're keeping tabs on it, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, but also making sure that everyone still feels that connection to your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. So we start email chains every single morning, and that involves everyone from our sales reps who are all the way out east in Montauk to everyone all the way out to any of the 5 boroughs and everyone in between. So it's great to be able to see what some sales representatives are selling into, getting accomplishments done. And I think it really is the snowball effect when another sales rep sees what someone else is able to do, and kind of, it really keeps that positive energy going, which I know, if it's kind of radio silence, it's like, okay, well, what is everyone else doing? What do I really need to do right now? Mm-hmm. But when you see that everyone else is really able to make an impact in this time, I think that's really what everyone needs. And, we've been having calls daily keeping everyone, just trying to stay motivated during this time, trying to see what everyone else's routines are, and definitely what everyone can be and do for each other, because I think everyone has some good and bad days. So if one of your employees or even managers are having a tough day and you're able to kind of bring some light into their lives for the day, kind of give them some sort of motivation to keep it going. And we're just really trying to do what we can, stay connected, and definitely involve all of our followers and fans on social media, show them what we're doing, what they can do as well.
Nick and Pat, do you guys have any? That's great feedback, and I want to talk about social media as well and technology, but real quick, do you have are you doing anything to keep your employees engaged specifically? Are you meeting with them? Do you have specific times of the day or a formal process?
Hal, you want to go first?
You got it.
All right, so for us, every single day we're kind of in a group chat also, but we also get on calls daily, and then weekly we'll have a live call. So we'll do a Zoom call where we all kind of get to interact. And then on top of that, the management team, people on top, end up setting up Zoom calls for all the other teams on Long Island as well. So everyone kind of interacts. Sometimes we do 3 studios at once. Sometimes we do one at a time. So everyone stays connected. And then I've also, like I said before, I send out emails to every single person on my team, and it's a few hundred people. And they know that they can come to me directly. They have my phone number. They can text me if they're in a situation where they need help, whatever the case may be. So, I'm in a unique situation in that, and it's going to sound funny, but I've never been on social media. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I don't have LinkedIn. I've never actually engaged in it. It's just not who I am. So, for the first time ever, I have to step outside of my comfort zone and kind of start to learn the process of what all these things are. And they're all brand new to me, but you know what? It's how I have to stay connected right now. And for the first time, just like I tell everyone's got to come out of their comfort zone a little bit. And for our team, it's, sometimes the effects have been a little bit more personal. So, it's been a fluid situation for me. Because it has directly impacted some of my team members, and so like we mentioned before, staying positive, staying active, staying engaged with everyone who works for you, making sure that they're okay. Those are all very, very important things. So we're doing the best we can in a situation like this, I think.
Pat, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm probably along the same lines as Nick, probably just at a little smaller scale. We have the 2 shops. We have management in both shops, but upper management is in touch with them every day, either group chat, group call, email threads. One thing we've really started to implement more of is technology as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've started using Instagram, Facebook, and kind of connecting with customers and everyone else, trying to stay connected, really. I use a scheduling app it's called 7 Shifts. It's got everything you need. It integrates with my POS. It schedules, it's payroll, it's all in one kind of thing. So we're also very close to launching our first, our app. We're coming out with an app, so mobile ordering will be easier. So we're kind of diving into a lot of technology right now, and it's exciting, but at the same time, with what's going on, it's a little nerdy.
Yeah, again, I think that's a great comment, because so many people are doing that, either diving into new technology and stepping out of your comfort zone, like you talked about, Nick, or taking technology that you used to have as something in your organization and really amplifying it, really making it a priority. I can tell you from Discover Long Island, one of the things we've been talking about is we have a platform on our website where every one of our partners gets a 360-degree virtual reality tour. And it goes in your Google page as well. So it was a great benefit for our partners. And we had, but it was kind of a feel-good thing on our website. It was one of the things we touted, but it wasn't a huge component of our website. And thank goodness we have those now, because during this time, it's completely transitioned to be our number one thing. Now we have virtual tours of museums and virtual tours of the restaurants offering delivery. And we can do, if a meeting planner wants to book a meeting, we can send them virtual tours of the hotels so that they can book it and they can't travel here. And if we didn't have that in place already, we wouldn't have been able to capture it. You can't get it. So we feel very privileged to have that technology that we're now putting on the forefront. And I wanted to see, like you talked about some very specific apps and programs and platforms. Stephanie or Nick, do you have some other technology specific programs or platforms that you're utilizing or that you have transitioned to be a priority in your organization? And we'll start with Stephanie.
So for the most part, we're keeping it old school, keeping it to the email chains. Like I've said, that's what's been successful to us in the past. And we do have the smaller scale group chats that we have going on. And then, just video conferences. We have another one of those lined up for next week to kind of just stay connected with all of our senior managers. But that's been it for the most part.
Are you doing anything on social media to keep the customers engaged with the product?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, one of the biggest things we've done is e-commerce, and one of our great partners is oasissnacks.com, and they have all of our chips. That was one of the first platforms that we launched with, and of course so they've been awesome in just coming up with some promotional codes that we've been able to share with our customers. Anyone who's been reaching out to us via email, we send them directly to there and give them the promo code. And just the feedback we've gotten from that has been really great. They're a local company as well, so we're very happy to be able to support them. And they've been really, really staying on top of everything a consumer places an order, they'll get it within the next couple days. So it's great that, people don't even have to run out to the store now. They don't necessarily have to, but they can still get their favorite house products.
That's great. And I'll tell you that having technology right now is our saving grace, right? To so many businesses. I don't know what we would have done 10, 15 years ago in the crisis like this. And Nick, I think it has to be paramount for you and keeping your business on the forefront. Because the good thing is we're seeing the trends we're seeing is the technology engagement online engagement is way up because everybody's at home, stuck on your device. So I know you guys are doing some really cool, innovative things.
So for us, we're lucky enough that Orangetheory Fitness has an app already developed, and that app kind of goes into your heart rate monitor. So if you had a heart rate monitor already before we can't get inside the studio, that still connects to your workout, and you could still track your progress through the app and through a wearable product. So it's really important for members to still be able to track what they're doing, track their heart rate, track their calories burned, track everything. And they're still able to do that while being at home and while doing an Orangetheory Fitness workout, or even going outside, going for a run, doing any kind of physical activity. So that's been a saving grace for us, like you said, because that was already kind of in place. And then as far as our team goes, we just have a bunch of ideas that we're always getting together on these Zoom calls and creating like new ways to like stay involved. We started a book club. The first book is called The Alchemist. Everyone's going to read it and kind of give their take on what they thought of the book. And then we're doing, we partnered up with X Factor Meals, which is a meal prep company. And we decided that in that partnership, we donated, we kind of got together and we created a plan where we get to go inside hospitals and deliver these meals. And then everyone's tagging, the hospital's kind of tagging our Instagram pages and our Facebook pages, and then everyone's kind of sharing it. So like you said, much more, immense at this time because of the fact that no one can go outside. So they got to stay connected, and this is the way to stay connected. So, as much as we want to be back in the studios and go back to normal life, we're doing the best we can. And, I'm proud of my team. I'm very proud of what they've done and what they've been doing. So. Yeah.
And I think that this is the time when it's so impactful on small business in particular, what's happening, right, in the small business teams. But I also feel like this is going to be the time when small businesses can really rise and take claim. Because if you think about it, Nick, as a boutique kind of workouts were taking off already, But if you're just a member of a big box gym, it's a lot more difficult for them to have the kind of engagement with the clientele that you're doing. So I think those people will survive more.
Yeah, yes. I mean, that's exactly it, because we're staying engaged with the members. Each studio has their own Facebook or their own Instagram. And believe it or not, the engagement has been incredible. Like we'll have a coach set up a Zoom workout and then have all these people sign on, or a live workout and have all these people sign on. We've had a few hundred people sign on to be with a particular coach at a particular time. So it's been quite remarkable to see. Another thing is we want to make sure that we do it the right way. So we're not, for us as a fitness industry, we're not charging for these workouts. I'm not going to talk about anyone else who's out there, other franchises or boutiques, but we're not charging at all. Everyone can go on, log on, try the workout, no matter where they are. It's kind of funny. Some of the workouts kind of funny. Like some of them require you to pick up a small child if you have your small child at home and do like a squat or something like that. So it's been pretty cool to see how everyone's kind of been engaged, and how many more people have jumped on to try the workouts has been incredible. So, so again, we're fortunate in that way that we are a community oriented, franchise and business. But, again, that human interaction can't be replaced. I truly believe that. And I'm a big proponent of that. So those high fives, those handshakes, those motivational things, that's been the one challenge. But, we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, I miss it so much. I'm not even my own little personal workout. I'm not even, I have all the same opportunities to do it, but it's so hard to be really self-motivated. But I think what I love about all of your businesses is that you are small businesses. What I'm hearing as a common thread is really the culture of the organizations that you either work for or that you've established. And, Pat, again, you're a great example of that, what you did. And yes, it's kind of you to say, oh, it fell in your lap when someone did it. But you actually took that initiative and took it a step further and really thought about how to give back. And how does, establishing that culture, I think the organizations that have that culture and the businesses that have that culture are the ones that are going to retain their employees, retain their teams, even after making some of the hard decisions you've had to make as a business owner. You're going to have the loyal team to come back to you. Do you feel that that's kind of foundational for you moving forward out of this?
Yes. I think we've created a team here where, even though, like I said, hours haven't been what people wanted and so forth, they understand what's going on. And we kind of put it out there from the beginning. Listen, this is not situation. This is not normal. And we're trying the best we can to create normal, or what appears to be normal, through this time. So, I think we've created, that they will come back.
I think they see what you're doing too. I mean, they understand you as a business owner, what you have to go through. I think when you have that kind of culture in the beginning, it's not something you can establish during the tough times, right? That kind of culture has to be set in place before you hit stumbles like this. Yeah,
definitely. It's been there since day one. I think, sometimes it takes, something like this, something, for lack of a better term, catastrophic to happen for people to kind of realize the culture and kind of take to it. But it's what kind of happened to us. And like you said, we didn't sit back and kind of, throw a towel in. We kept moving forward. We had to adapt. And yeah, it's been, I couldn't be happier with how my team's been responding.
And like what Nick's doing, I think what you've done in this time with all the great media exposure that you've received and social media, exposure, that you're at the same time you're creating a culture and you're giving back just because that's the kind of business you are, but you're establishing a whole new customer base of people that will then come to you. I think personally, because of what you did, people especially the younger generations, like to align with brands and companies and organizations they feel align with their brand, their personal brand, and give back. And it's really important for people today. So kudos to you and the team. And Stephanie, I heard you talking earlier about the culture of your organization, and it's a small, mighty team that you work for, but that it comes from the top. And how does that, as a team member of an organization like that, how does that make you feel more loyal?
I really think it makes all the difference. If some of our managers or leadership were being negative, because I think in a time like this, it's so easy to just give up and just be negative and kind of just give into your emotions. I think it takes such a strong leader to be able to get up every day and make the conscious decision to be positive, be there for their employees and their teammates, and see what they've been able to do now for the past couple weeks, months at this point. I think it really shows. And I mean, I think I was always loyal to the brand, but this has definitely taken it that much further. And what we've been able to do and just give back to the community with what we've been doing with some hospitals and some meeting up with our other team partners, and then even just local delis that are providing meals for their hospitals and other medical centers. We've been able to partner up with them, do some meal deals. So for every meal that they get a bag of chips. And then I think another thing is food pantries, because I think it's kind of getting neglected at this point. You don't have people bringing food to food pantries, so those are kind of lacking. And then you also have more and more people going to get food from the food pantry. So we've been able to do some donations from there too. And those are some things that have really stemmed from our top leaders. So it's in terms of just, they're looking so much out for their own employees, but also the community. Our slogan for Hal's is New York born, New York made. We've always been so proud to be a part of New York, from before this happened, after this is over with, and especially right now, we're really just trying to be there for our community.
I think that's so important, making sure that it's not about selling, it's not about your organization right now, it's about the community. I've been using that word a lot lately, and even at Discover Long Island, we're typically promoting tourism and restaurants and attractions, but we pivoted, as did all of you, right away, and decided that our community needed a positive message right now. And so we did a whole hold fast video using the Mariner's phrase for Long Island's maritime heritage. It's hold fast. We've been through many storms as Long Islanders. We'll see through this one. And it's resonated so much because it's what people need to hear. And, when you're providing just a resource to people, in fact, it was just listed yesterday, Forbes put it on the top 5 videos that will inspire you to travel again. So I think when you can inspire people right now, they'll remember it later. And, branding is important, though, right? So after this, we're going to come out of this, and we're going to need to go back to business and make sure that everything that we've done during this time benefits everyone later, so that we can all recover, so that our employees can make their money again and support their families, and we can generate positivity back into the economy and help our community. So I have a question. I'll go around, and then if there's something I didn't cover, we can talk about it. But get out your crystal ball, right? And tell me what, I think this is obviously going to change us forever in a lot of different ways, some good, some bad maybe, but what do you think we look like coming out of this? What are some of the changes that you think will stay permanent? And how do you think this might affect how we move forward? And Nick, I'll start with you.
You start with me?
Yeah.
What do I think? You know what I think? I think that I really truly believe we don't have enough information yet, and it's such an ever-changing, fluid situation, and especially for New Yorkers, for us who kind of been hit the hardest, it's going to be something. Obviously, everything is new, day to day. Everything is new. The information that comes out, what's happening on a day-to-day basis changes. So for us, looking into the future is a good thing. I really do believe that. But also for me, myself, just kind of staying in the present and making sure that, like we mentioned before, the community, and we're taking care of everyone, and we're staying active, we're staying present, and we're doing all those things. And then working together, like you said, working together with all these other businesses once we do get up and running, and then staying active and then staying more connected and coming together. So Orangetheory Fitness created a campaign. It's called We Are In This Together. And that's kind of, they created a retail line around it. So it's been pretty great. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that, especially in New York, we're in this together. Like, everyone's kind of has their own story. Everyone has a different situation they're going through. But as long as we stick together and do things productively and with positive energy, and when we come out of this, when we finally come out of this, I do believe we're going to be stronger. New Yorkers have a sense of resiliency, and we all know that. We've been through a lot of things. But I do believe that at the end of this, we're going to come out stronger. We're going to be in a much in a different mindset. We're going to have a different mindset, but people want to get outside. I hear it all the time. I can't wait to get back in the studio. I can't wait to go to the local place. I can't wait to just live life normally. And I believe that at some point we'll get there. And when we do, everyone's going to kind of rejoice and be happy.
Here's a big question. Do you think that Long Islanders will finally stop complaining about traffic? Go. Probably not.
Probably not. No.
I just, that's my end goal. Is like, please stop talking about traffic. Pat, what about you? You talked about how you started using Venmo for this. I'm assuming that's something you'll probably keep going for, quick mobile orders access. Are there other things that you see coming out of this that will forever shape you or the business or just the community?
Yeah, we'll definitely keep that open as a way for people to, because again, coming out of this, I think it's going to be a very slow progression. So there are still going to be people a little leery of exchanging cash, whatever the case may be, coming into the stores and even going outside. So with that, yeah, we'll still keep all and options we can available. But I think, I hope that at least for me, this is going to be, it's a kind of an awakening for appreciating the smaller things. We always you always hear everyone's got to start appreciating the smaller things in life. But again, like I said, it usually, maybe in my case, it takes something kind of drastic for that to kind of, wake me, I guess you could say.
You're not alone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think people are going to start appreciating that, I've heard it on the news a couple of times, it seems like we're going back to simpler times. Well, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, a reboot may have been needed, and the circumstances are obviously unfortunate. But, with every negative, you could definitely take away.
Yeah, a little dose of gratitude.
Right.
Right? Does everybody good, I think. And here's another prediction I will throw out just for fun. I am waiting, and I don't know, have any of you, do you have branded masks yet? That's going to be the next big, everyone's going to have their, no. I'm just waiting for it. Let's see, but it has to have your logo on it.
That's going to be the pipeline one. It will be branded.
Yeah, see, everybody's going to have their branded masks, and it's going to show. That's my other prediction coming out of this. Stephanie, how about you? What do you think is anything going to change, or personally, professionally?
Yeah, so I think both personally and professionally, I do agree that it's definitely going to be a slow, gradual back to normal, whatever that was for everybody. But, I think everyone definitely has taken a step back, and I don't think there's one person who has not been affected by this in any shape or form. But, it's something as simple as just washing your hands more, whether it's, I'm not sure if every single person has always been washing their hands and as much as they could have, or obviously the face masks that everyone's going to be wearing for the future, keeping distance. I'm not sure how long that's going to be going on for, but that's even something. And I think it's just the little things, as you guys were just talking about, taking everything for granted. And I think hopefully everyone will get that from this. It's even just going to your local grocery store and being able to hang out with friends and stuff like that. So I really think that I hope everyone is taking it as an opportunity, so when we finally are back out and getting back into our daily routines, really to take something from this.
we're working on our next video, which is kind of the entrance, and it's going to be a lot about that theme, the gratitude and how we're going to appreciate things more coming out of it, including hopefully appreciating visitors, you know, and our businesses and our hospitality workers. Go ahead, Nick.
I would add, like, you got to look for the silver lining in all this, and there's always a silver lining. So, you know, for myself, it's been, you know, spending time with my two daughters who are 4 and 6 years old. And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to have that time, that longer period of time, and spend with them and kind of experience all the small things with them. And for me, that's a silver lining, that every day I wake up and I'm with them all day. Every day we go outside, we play, we do all these other things. So we've never been as close as we are right now, because life gets busy. Life moves fast. Like you said, traffic, you get upset, you know, you're working all day long and you never get to see, you know, experience the little things in life. And that's been a blessing, obviously through a tough time, but, you know, I'm blessed in that way also.
I think you're right. We're saying that. I think people are going to, when they get back to their normal lives, they're going to kind of miss this a little bit, the time that they got to spend at home with their families. I'm jealous of all the people that are working out and cooking and reading books. I'm like, when do you have time to do this? I'm working 16-hour days. But I agree. And that was a perfect segue to kind of wrap up, is the silver lining. And, you know, what, not only from a family perspective, but even this panel, the fact that we would probably have never connected, and the connections that we're making while we're far apart, we're actually, you know, able through technology to meet new people and use each other's resources and be there for each other, and really come together as a community, as a region, as an industry, small business owners, however you want to label it. But I think that has really been something I've seen, and I think will hopefully be a big silver lining coming out of it. Stephanie and Pat, did you want to add another silver lining as a closing topic? Pat, how about you? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's it on the head. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't have kids, so I'm spending a lot of time at the shop right now anyway, because we are open. But I think for me, it's a lot of, you know, taking the smaller things in life for granted.
And Pat, appreciating, you've taught us all too, appreciating our frontline healthcare workers, you know, making sure that we really appreciate what they're doing. That's a silver lining, is that they're getting the recognition that they finally deserve as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones we look to save lives, right? So a lot of the time, it can feel like they don't get the recognition that they deserve, and it's about time they get it, I guess.
Stephanie, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you and Pat were just saying. It's so crazy when these are the doctors and nurses who, even when everything is normal, have been taking care of everyone, and that is their job. And I think it's so crazy that it's taken something as scary as this for us to appreciate. I hope that's something that we can take into everyday life, to have more appreciation for that, and definitely just being able to kind of take it back to basics and take a step back and figure out really is important in life, and still being able to just manage day to day, still being able to work day to day, and kind of switching up our routines. And I think everyone has probably been able to introduce some more things that maybe they wouldn't have been able to do in their normal daily life, and, you know, life after quarantine, hopefully be able to incorporate that as well.
Yeah, I think so. I keep channeling the Coldplay song, The Scientist, back to the start. And I think that's that's the theme song, right, of 2020.
Yeah. I downloaded it yesterday.
Yeah, but this has been, go ahead, Nick.
But, you know, I would also add that it's not just, I mean, yes, the doctors and nurses have been absolutely wonderful and amazing, but it's also everyone else who works at the hospital who are putting themselves at risk. It's actually, you know, restaurants that are still open that are delivery drivers, or Amazon,
grocery store workers.
You know, there's so many other people out there that are putting themselves at risk by going to work and doing all those things.
The liquor store owners, let's give them
the liquor store, yeah,
right. What do we do without them?
We're actually good. We're delivering liquor now also, but it's everyone. Everyone who's putting themselves at risk should really be, you know,
Commended. Yeah.
commended. Yes, exactly. So I think
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because and it goes back to gratitude. So I think that's how we'll wrap it up is gratitude. I'm grateful for all of you and everything that you're doing for, our communities. I think we're all grateful for the incredible teams that we have that support us in our businesses right now and allow us to do what we're doing. And grateful for NYCB Live, again, for putting this panel together and for thinking about the small businesses and their partners during this time. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that listens to this panel and all of our Long Island community out there for holding fast during this difficult time. And we will come out of this, and to your point, we'll be stronger, and I think we'll be closer.